Welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to dive right into a stage of life that honestly gets a pretty bad rap, the halfway mark. You hit your late 40s or maybe your 50s, and it feels like everything just kind of shifts. But instead of dreading it, we're going to look at some source material that offers a totally unique perspective. It uses these really clever 1930s-style animation metaphors to completely reframe how we view aging. It's absolutely fascinating. So let me ask you, have you reached the halfway mark? Picture this for a second. Imagine you've been driving fast, like really fast, for 30 years, and suddenly, right in the middle of the journey, you find yourself sputtering out on the side of the road. Smoke is puffing from the hood, the gas gauge is totally on empty, and you're just standing there, looking completely unimpressed with where you've ended up. Sound familiar? Section 1, the halfway mark breakdown. Okay, so for about 3 decades, basically from our 20s straight through our 40s, we tend to treat our lives like a high-performance, speeding sports car. We race from milestone to milestone, right? Career, family, all those social obligations. We push the engine to its absolute limits without ever pulling over for routine maintenance. And the fuel we use? Our source points out a brilliant quote. We run this engine entirely on espresso, anxiety, and other people's expectations. I mean, think about how exhausting that is. That is incredibly low-quality, highly combustible fuel. When you're running on a mixture of caffeine just to stay awake, anxiety to keep moving, and the heavy burden of what everyone else wants from you, well, a breakdown isn't just possible, it's an absolute mechanical certainty. Section 2. Not a crisis, a tune-up. Ah, yes, the midlife crisis. Society looks at you, standing there with your hood popped and your engine smoking, and they whisper those dreaded words. They fully expect you to just completely panic. The traditional expectation is that you're going to go out and make some terribly ill-advised purchase, maybe a flashy sports car that, let's be honest, actually hurts your lower back just to get in and out of, purely to prove you're still in the race. But here is the secret. While society expects a full-blown panic, the reality is entirely different. You aren't losing your mind, and your engine isn't actually broken. It's literally just a tune-up. You are simply, and finally, tired of burning cheap fuel. You're pulling over because your system is demanding a serious upgrade in how you operate. Section 3. The power of no. So a massive part of this tune-up involves upgrading your personal boundaries. And as we look at the source material, there's this fascinating evolution in how we make decisions over the decades. Back in your 20s, you were probably terrified of missing out, the classic FOMO, so you said yes to absolutely everything. Then you hit your 30s, and the motivation kind of shifted. You were still juggling a million things, still saying yes, but now it was driven by heavy obligations and sheer peer pressure. But then you reach your 50s. At 50, something magical happens. The word no becomes your new default. And honestly, it rolls off the tongue like a fine vintage wine. It's rich, it's satisfying, and it brings this deep, incredible sense of peace. You're no longer frantic. You're sitting comfortably, realizing that setting a boundary isn't a limitation at all. Actually, it's a luxury you have fully 100% earned. Section 4. Driving the second half. Armed with this amazing, high-quality fuel of personal boundaries, we transition into an entirely new phase. Think about it like this. The first half of your life was entirely about building the vehicle. You were assembling the parts, getting an education, establishing a career, maybe building a family. It was all construction. But the second half, that is when you actually get to choose where you are driving. The heavy lifting of building the car is totally done. Now you hold the keys and the horizon is wide open. I mean, think about the definition of a classic car. It isn't old, no way. It's a timeless vehicle that has earned the right to choose its destination without fearing the mileage. You shouldn't be looking at your age as a deficit. You are stepping into an era of quiet confidence and timeless elegance. You aren't some old jalopy, you are a classic. Section 5. Ready to hit the road. All right, so we've reframed a breakdown, we've upgraded the fuel, and we've recognized the immense value of the vehicle itself. Now, it's time to actually navigate this new phase of the journey. The source gives us 3 clear, actionable steps to get us moving. Step 1, fill the tank with what matters. No more anxiety, no more espresso-fueled panic, and definitely no more other people's expectations. Fill it with purpose and joy. Step 2, adjust your rearview mirror. Acknowledge where you've been, give a little nod to the past, but keep your strict focus on the windshield in front of you. And step 3, hit the road with renewed intention. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final, really vital thought. You've survived the frantic first half. You have successfully completed the tune-up. Your boundaries are firmly set, and for the first time in perhaps 30 years, your tank is completely full of high-quality fuel. So, where are you driving next? The destination is entirely up to you. Thanks so much for joining me today.